let's talk about money. Money. Let's talk about money and money beliefs. How are you going, guys? It's Carmel here, just in case you hadn't guessed. So what about money beliefs? Have you ever thought about where you got your beliefs from money, your money beliefs rather? Have you ever thought about it? Or is it just something that we kind of use and grow, and we don't even realize that we actually do have a set of money beliefs? Now, I never questioned them before until maybe a couple of years ago now, a few years ago actually. And when I did, I realized some interesting things, and three main interesting things in particular. Number one, the environment we grew up in and what we were surrounded by has a lot to do with the money beliefs that we have developed and in some cases taken on. Now, not everything, but some of them. So for me, I was brought up in a little town in Ireland, and the money beliefs there were, you know, you had to put your head down, work hard. That was the only way you could get money. But we also, and I'm curious if you've ever heard any of these kind of sayings, was, you know, you talk about filthy rich. You hear people talking about being filthy rich, or money doesn't grow on trees. Another one is money is the root of all evil. There's a few more. Money can't buy happiness. That was a big one. Money can't buy happiness. So the meaning under that is you can't have money and you can't have happiness as well. And I know a lot of female entrepreneurs, just for example, a lot of them thought or have thought at some stage that if their business got bigger, that they wouldn't be able to keep their relationship going as well. So simply not the way it is necessarily, but when we have those beliefs, our beliefs are driving everything that we do from a conscious and unconscious level. Money is power is another one. Money talks, of course. And one of my favorite ones, I remember many, many years ago in Ireland, going out, I think it was a fashion at the time to have frayed jeans, frayed ends on your jeans or something like that. And I remember my dad saying to me, you know, go and put something on that's not ripped, or some words to that effect. And I said, oh, but Dad, but such a body up the road is wearing them. And the perception was that that family was a bit better off than us. And I always remember the sentence he said to me, it was, only the rich can afford to look poor, Carmel. You remember that. So, you know, these are the kind of things, and I'm curious what it would have been for you and your upbringing. Have you heard those terms, you know, filthy rich, or had that belief that if you had money or lots of it, and if you were very financially free, you had to have done something not so savory in order to get there? Some other ones that I found more recently are like, money is like seawater. The more you drink it, the more thirsty you become. And spending is quick, but earning is slow. And that's quite prevalent now in this society of where we order things really quickly online and things like that. So I'm just curious, as we bring this to awareness, if you can say maybe that you've had some of these too, and maybe if we have certain beliefs that we didn't even know we had, if we can look at them and maybe look at changing them as well. Number two is, because of all these beliefs that we have, and it's a societal thing in some ways as well, because people will say, yeah, I agree with you, I'm filthy rich, or they must have done something. I mean, in show business, if somebody's extra famous, what did they do on their way up there? So we try and keep ourselves small, because we don't want to be seen as that filthy rich, or as that evil, or as that whatever belief we've put in our head. So somewhere down deep, we often hold the belief that all those sayings are true. So I don't want to be like them, because we have this kind of unacknowledged need to be liked, because that's part of our base of survival. But I would challenge it and say, is it true? And you hear people say that, but some money has a bad energy. Well, money doesn't have energy at all. Money is basically paper or some kind of metal for the most part. It's the belief behind the person that's handing over or receiving that. That's the energy. So if you have a belief that you don't deserve it, or that it's costing you too much, or whatever it is, it's merely the perceived value to the person in that moment when you are exchanging that money. So because it's really from an emotional stage. So that brings me to number 3, is we're emotional beings and we make decisions first from a place of emotion. Yeah, absolutely. It's from that reptilian brain way at the back. That was the fight or flight. It was like, oh, is that danger, run, whatever. There's no middle ground. And then we go into, is something dangerous? Is it going to make us happy or sad? So we make those decisions from there. Now we logic it sometimes in our brain and we'll escalate it up. So let me give you an example. So we are always looking for that emotional hit, that experience of that emotional hit that we want. So if you work for, now I'm just making up figures. So if you work for an hourly rate, which a lot of people do, they work for an hourly rate, it's $100 maybe an hour that you're earning. And yet we would easily, in the flick of a switch, spend $2,000 or $3,000 or more on a weekend getaway. Why is that? Because it's the experience that we want to get. It's the emotional feeling of that experience that we want to get. It's of more value to us in that moment than the 20 hours it took us to work to actually earn it, if that makes sense. So that experience gives that emotional hit that we crave. And it may be happiness. You may have the name happiness on it. You may have peace. It may be distraction. It may be about, building yourself up and relaxing, whatever it is. But think about that for a moment and think, what is it that happiness gives you? What else is it? So the value of what you offer in exchange has to be equal to or more than the money that they're prepared to give you for it. So the experience, and there is a great book actually called The Experience Economy, well worth a read. The experience is what people are after. Why do we go to a movie, for example? Why do we pay and go to a movie? And some of the highest paid people in the world are actually people that are on the big screen or on stage. Why do we do that? Why do we go to a movie? Because we want to experience that their ups and downs, their journey, and then we escape and have some distraction from our own day-to-day living. If you're in business, for example, as I am, like marketing for me became key, because great marketing, besides what people sometimes believe, doesn't try and communicate to you information about, your products and your services. It communicates emotional stories to your future ideal clients in a way that they can buy into the larger story, that they can quickly enjoy the pleasure and happiness, whatever it means to them, by using your product, if you have the solution to what it is they want. So sometimes marketing is given a bit of a dirty meaning, but that's actually what it is. It's communicating emotional stories. Imagine this for a moment. If you were to think of money as a medium of exchange, and that's actually what it is. It's just a medium, a way to exchange one thing of perceived value to the owner to another person that they perceive the value they want that to be. So the money itself doesn't really matter. Like money, many, many years ago, money didn't even exist. It's just that it's, for the most part, universally recognized now. It used to be, before money, it used to be more of a bartering system. And it could be that you may have a herd of cows, but you wanted to have some sheep. So you would go to the sheep farmer, and depending on the value, if the sheep were less, of course, they would be higher value because they were harder to come by. And you might say, I'll give you 2 cows for that 1 sheep, or vice versa, depending on the scarcity of it and depending on the perceived value by the other person. So if money is only an intermediary in business and in life, so whichever way you want to look at it, I like to think of it as it's never money for money's sake, but rather what the money can give you, as I just explained about the experience. Sometimes people will say, I just want financial freedom. And that's Absolutely fine. Well, what is financial freedom to you? And what is it going to give you when you have financial freedom? Other people may say that having X amount of money will give them security. Again, I would ask the question, what will security give you? So it's a really good way of starting to dig down and just uncover. And look, your beliefs about money, there's no good, bad, right or wrong. It's absolutely fine. But I'm curious if your beliefs about money are the thing that are blocking you from receiving more or blocking you from spending more. I don't know what that is for you. If you're not getting the results that you say you want, well, maybe there is a blockage or something is there. So I did a little bit of research and I thought, you know what, I'm sure there's some famous people that have talked about money in the opposite way, as it's not all about the money. And the first one I came across is by Norman Vincent Peale. And so he's the author of The Power of Positive Thinking. And empty pockets never held anyone back. Only empty heads and empty hearts do that. And I thought that is so true, because we can always earn some more money once you have knowledge and information and the ability to do it. Maya Angelou, who I'm sure you've all heard of, don't make money your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing. And then, I love this part of it, do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you. That is so true. Do it so well. And then when you do it so well and people see you achieving in an area they want to achieve, they're going to, of course, the perceived value is, if I can pay you money and learn that quicker, why wouldn't I? The other one is by Henry Ford, and if money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. That's an interesting one. The only real security that a man will have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability, those things that I just spoke about. And we know those three people are quite successful in their fields, and why so? But it was never the money that they were just going after. Now, we all need money. We need money to pay our mortgage. We need money to buy our food. But if we consider changing our belief a little bit around money and think of it as a means of exchange, for me, it definitely changed the urgency on always trying to do stuff for money and not enjoying as much of my life or the journey or even the business journey with it. It made a huge difference when I saw, okay, I always have, and this is a belief I have, that I will always have as much money as I need, plus more, to achieve all of my dreams and goals. And so far, that's been true since I changed that belief. So I just wanted to share some things with you and maybe shift that belief a little bit. If you're not getting what it is you say you want, the outcome you say you want within your business, within your life, and it may be something you believe that it's money related, I'm curious if maybe your money beliefs need to shift a little bit. So I'd love to hear from you. Put it in the comments below or send me a private message. What are your beliefs around money? Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. And for now, it's bye from me.